Thanks, listeners. It is time to go outdoors and enjoy our guest today, Julie Gabrielson, Nevada Department of Wildlife Conservation Educator. Whew, we're going to take a breath here, Julie, and just dive right in.
We got a lot this month.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we're picking up into our busy season, which we really have most of the year is our busy season. And then we might get a couple of weeks here and there that are kind of quiet where we can kind of do some catch up and pick up on some little things. But it's busy season, and we're starting out with the Elko Sportsman Expo, which is March 2nd and 3rd. Our co-host is the National Wild Turkey Federation, the Ruby Mountain Rios chapter right here out of Elko. It is free to the public, free youth activity room as well, where kids can participate in archery, a pellet gun range. They get free t-shirts that they can sit down and color and stamp all up while they're there. Fly tying, wildlife education type stuff where I haven't figured out yet if we've got the snakes coming this year from the Western region, but we're still working on that. There might even be a Gila monster this year. And so, yeah, all kinds of good stuff that the kids can participate in. And obviously the parents get to play along a little bit on some of that stuff as well. It's free entry and into the main event as well. And we even have a door prize for anybody that's attending, and that's free to get that raffle ticket for that as well. Co-sponsors are Fifth Gear, Riverton, and Exit Outdoors, and we're looking forward to it, and we really want everybody to come down and enjoy a good afternoon or a good day or two even at the Elko Sportsman's Expo. That's going to be at the Elko Conference Center.
All right. Again, mark those dates. March 2nd, March 3rd, and free admission and all kinds of fantastic fun. And you don't even have to be a sportsman or a woman necessarily, Julie, because it appeals to all kinds of outdoor activities.
It really does. And you're going to find anything in there from, kitchen knives to, electric bikes and camping gear, some firearms. There's going to be some massagers. We've got a vendor this year that's bringing in some hand massagers, like a chiropractor would use. And so you'll find anything there. You'll find all kinds of stuff there. ATVs, vehicles, boats, fishing equipment, all kinds of stuff.
Very cool. And of course, feeding right into that, we've many hunters who are young hunters and people who are new to the sport, but you have to have a class for hunter ed, right?
You do. Nevada does require hunter education for any of our big game applications and hunts. And those classes it's our big season for hunter education in this region. They have picked up and started in January, actually. So tomorrow will be our first January hunter education class. We have another one available on Sunday. Saturday's class is full, but Sunday's class still has some availability, but there's limited time to get registered for that. And then we've got multiple classes scheduled until clear out through May at this point. So if you need some information on where to find that, you can go to ndowlicensing.com and look under education, and you'll find all of the class calendars for that.
All right, NDOWlicensing.com. Get that hunter education class scheduled, and that is a requirement. And then all your volunteer programs, I know that when we've talked with your Nicoles before, those gals are just so busy in and out of the classroom, in and out of the field, and they are ready to go.
They are, and we have a lot of different things going on. This month we also hosted our annual Volunteer Instructors Award dinner and banquet, and that's to honor our dedicated volunteers. Our volunteers teach a variety of classes from hunter education, archery education, angler education, wildlife education, which is very, very broad. And they really make a big part of what we do. We wouldn't be able to do what we do on the education front without a lot of our volunteers. In 2023, they contributed over 600 hours to our programs, which amounts to a little more than $25,000 in federal in-kind match that we get from those volunteer hours that they contribute. So it's really beneficial on so many different fronts when you become a volunteer for us and help us out. So if you have any interest in being a volunteer for us on an instructor front, you can call Nicole Hamlin at 775-777-2388.
And you never know, it could lead to a career in something that you absolutely love.
You just never know.
Yes, that's an awesome story. We love that. And speaking of volunteer projects and getting families involved, you have a Guzzler project coming up.
We do, and it's still a little ways out. Our regional Guzzler project that we do every year is scheduled for the weekend of June 29th. It'll be out in the Ely area. It is a family event. We provide food and there's camping available there. Last year we had over 60 volunteers and staff, and we really hope to see that or maybe even beat that again. Teaming up with Elko Bighorns Unlimited again as this Guzzler project comes around. Group camping, like I said, group camping and meals are provided, and all of your hours and miles that you contribute as a volunteer for this project comes right back to us, like I said earlier, with our instructors in that federal kind match. So it really makes a big difference for us, and a lot of that match, what we do is we apply it towards that project, so it actually rolls back into the division that you've been helping out.
Oh, very nice. Again, a great way to help a volunteer organization in Elko Bighorns Unlimited. At the same time, you're partnering with NDOW, our state agency. Well, the ice fishing, the weather's not been cooperating for ice fishing, Julie.
No, it really has not. And we do have an introductory ice fishing clinic scheduled for February 10th. We do still have some registration spaces open for that. So you can give Nicole a call, again, 777-2388 if you're interested in that. Family-friendly event. We provide all of the equipment. All you got to do is show up, dress warm for it, and be prepared. We, bring some snacks and good stuff. But we bring out the augers, the fishing poles, anything that you might need to be out there fishing on the ice. And it's really designed for those that they haven't really done it before. They're not super familiar with it. They don't know if they want to invest into the equipment for it. They're not overly comfortable with doing it on their own. And so we're out there to help give that experience to them and really, open their eyes to a new adventure. But yes, as you said, ice is a little bit of a concern right now. So feel free to register for it. As of right now, we are still doing it. But if in fact the ice is not going to hold up for it, then we'll call everybody and let them know that we're having to cancel the event.
Okay. Of course, this late January heading into February, things change in one weekend. You just never know. And if you want, we can jump ahead just to fishing and ice fishing conditions, and then we will come back to some more of that wildlife ed that's been going on. But
absolutely,
yeah, people are out there fishing.
They are. They're taking they're doing it. And ice fishing conditions around the region are extremely variable right now. Wild Horse has 4 to 6 inches of clear ice under several inches of snow and slush. Access and parking is difficult at a lot of the locations other than the state park. South Fork should be considered unsafe at this point. There's even open water along the shoreline that it's actually offering some really good trout fishing from the shoreline. But we definitely are advising you just consider South Fork unsafe and stay off of any ice that you see out there. Cummins Lake down in Ely, they do have some ice fishing opportunities for some smaller groups and anglers, but you really need to use extreme caution on there because, again, it's pretty variable out there. There's a couple sections that are a little bit better than other sections. The Rotary Club that hosts an annual ice fishing derby every February, that actually is scheduled for tomorrow, and they had to cancel it because the ice is just not safe enough, and variables throughout the whole lake to where they just can't guarantee the safety of everybody that might be out there. The South Lake of Cummins is especially inconsistent. And then since we're going right through with fisheries, we might as well go into talk about job opportunities. Applications for seasonal conservation aids in the fisheries division based out of Elko are opening up. And they'll be hiring 3 to 5 different positions this year to work basically May through August, and depending on some schedules, they can even extend some out to November. If that's something that you or somebody that you know might be interested in, you can call Mike Starr at 775-777-2332. That's a really unique opportunity for these for young adults or somebody to come in and see what the fisheries division does. It's a lot of work. It can be some long hours, but they really do have a good time with it as well.
Well, it sounds like you're working outdoors. You're working with nature.
Absolutely. Yep. Doing a lot of surveys in the waters around the area, stream surveys, creel surveys, all kinds of stuff that they get to get out there and do.
Great opportunity. So again, give Mike Starr a call, Nevada Department of Wildlife. So that's kind of our fisheries glance, if you will, and then backing up. And last time we talked, you were getting ready to deliver trout in the classroom.
Yeah, we've got, I believe they go out the week after next is when we'll actually be delivering the eggs to the classrooms. 32 active classrooms this year. Volunteer and staff effort to get the eggs into classrooms all the way from Battle Mountain, Carlin, Wendover, Jackpot, Wells, Eureka, Ely, and Elko Spring Creek area. So they're all over the place with those eggs for the Trout in the Classroom project. Really a unique and cool project that these kids get to take part in. They raise trout eggs from an eyed egg all the way up to fingerlings, which are literally, maybe a little bit smaller than the typical, pinky as far as length goes, probably more like a 7-year-old's pinky length. And then they get to go out to an approved water and release them into that water as part of their educational wrap up of the program itself. It crosses over into many different areas from, math to science, and then some teachers even turn it into writing and art, classes as well, so they can roll it over into all different kinds of areas.
There's trout poetry.
Trout poetry, absolutely.
Yes, we have learned from cowboy poetry. Anything can be poetry.
It absolutely.
Yeah. And it does teach them the importance of conservation, Julie, because they've seen this little tiny thing grow and they've helped to nurture it and they feel more responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. It does that. They learn the ecology. There's so much that they learn from it. And it's not intended as a stocking program. The trout life cycle is actually pretty crazy. 2 out of 2,000 eggs actually make it to spawning adults on average. So again, it's not a stocking program, but it really does offer a valuable experience for the students in the classroom.
Well, and thanks to the dedication of your staff, these classrooms are all across the region. That is impressive.
It is,
yes.
Nicole St. John and her team has done a really great job getting them out there this year.
Well, so those dates are set, and those trout tanks, I guess, are set, but there are still some other programs like Know Your Nevada. Yes,
Know Your Nevada is a 4th grade specific program that talks about Nevada's living state symbols. We come into the classroom. It's on 3 different occasions that we come in and teach 3 different lessons on all of those state symbols. They still have some room in their schedule for that. It starts to wrap up about this time of year for most of the classrooms. A lot of them do it in the fall. But if you've got interest in this, you can call Nicole St. John at 777-2391. She's also planning our Wild Week again this year. That happens during the Elko County School District spring break, April 1st through the 5th. You'll have archery. You're going to have information on bat boxes. There's a hunter education day included in that. Several different programs that she's got going for those days during spring break. So watch for that information. We'll post it social media as well as around town so that people can get their kids registered for it.
Yeah, that is one that it sells out fast. It's free, so I just say it sells out,
yes.
But it fills up.
It does. Yeah. And that's one of the really cool things about all of our programs is they are free.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Whether it's archery, and I know we're going to talk more about that. I think you had a state competition, or you had something recently I saw in the news.
We did cool. Last Friday. Yes, we did. I actually don't have it on this, but we had a local, we call it a virtual tournament, even though it's in person. But in next week on Wednesday, we have the State National Archery in Schools Program tournament down in Vegas. So we offer these virtual tournaments in surrounding areas so that the students that for whatever reason they can't get down to the Vegas shoot, they can still participate and submit scores for it. So we had one down in Ely 2 weeks ago. Reno had one the day before ours last week. They had about 180 students in that one. We had 25 shooters at ours here at Flagview on Friday. So it's really, it's cool. So now we'll take their scorecards and we'll take them down to Vegas with us when we go down to help out with that big shoot down there.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for your leadership there too. That is a lot of archery.
It is a lot of archery, and I love every minute of it.
Oh, that's great. What a fun sport, and an amazing introduction. Again, another free program from Nevada Department of Wildlife for our youth sports. And moving on to game, we still have people out there hunting. Or wrapping up?
Wrapping up.
Okay.
So, most of the hunts should be wrapped up by now. But turkey application period is open. The deadline is the 29th. at 11 p.m. The draw will be on the 14th of February. Statewide, there are several new hunts and seasons this year, including 2 new Elko County hunts, Unit 091 and Units 103 and 108. Units 103 and 108 is the result of a trap and transplant operation that took place up in southeastern Idaho in partnership with Idaho Fish and Game. And that was over back in 2020. Parents, remember that there are 8 unit groups that currently have allocations for junior tags on those turkey applications.
So that means plenty of places to go and availability.
Yes, there's definitely more options now. Big game application period begins on March 18th, and the deadline when that will close will be May 8th. Eastern region biologists are conducting winter elk surveys, and overall they're saying that things are looking pretty favorable for Elko County. The department will be proposing and presenting their 2024 big game seasons to the Nevada Board of Wildlife Commissioners on the 26th and 27th of this month.
This month, right around the corner. And we did see on the agenda, Julie, it is a big change, looking at a moose hunt.
Looking at a moose hunt, the most noticeable change is a moose season. The moose season is in response to the population growth that we've seen in the last decade, leading to a limited surplus of bulls, which is pretty exciting.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And I know this is a silly question, but I've never seen it on a menu. But do people, when they harvest, you eat moose?
Moose is probably one of the best big game meats out there.
She looked at me incredulous, like what?
What? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
Okay.
I've only had it a few times because obviously it's not something that's readily available, but it is probably my favorite big game meat. Absolutely.
Wow. Oh, good. Well, I'm going to look forward to that. I'm going to find some somewhere. So because that sounds fantastic. You make jerky from?
You could, but I don't know that I would waste it on jerky.
Ooh,
I mean, no,
it's
good. Yeah. It's like filet type good. It's very good meat. And on the moose topic, we are planning a social media campaign the week of Valentine's, all about moose. It's Moose Week. And so watch for that. There'll be some interesting information back to historic sightings and encounters, down to just some entertaining videos of them out in the field that our biologists have caught, when they've, done some of the surveying on them. And it'll be a good week. So watch our social media for it.
All right. Will do. Thanks, Julie. That's cool news. So we'll look forward to tracking that information down as well. I just was just so excited to hear that.
It is. Yeah.
Looking for recipes on that one too.
Yeah, it's fantastic meat.
All right. So let's see, what is up next on your list?
Well, let's go with the urban wildlife.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So don't feed the deer.
There it is. Oh, yes.
Don't feed the deer. This includes intentional and unintentional feeding. Inappropriate feeds can be fatal to wildlife, and it causes gut issues. It causes dependency issues. So it is illegal in the state of Nevada to feed them. So we ask that you take some extra steps to make sure that you're not feeding them unintentionally as well. Lock up your pet food and livestock feed. Put fences around them. Put containers in them. We've had some pretty creative wildlife get into like cat doors to find cat food and dog food. We had an incident, I believe, last year where a doe got a cat door stuck around her neck, and we ended up having to go out and assist in removing it. And she's fine. She was able to walk away without any problems, but they'll find a way to do it. So really watch what you're doing with those feeds, and then fence in your yards, trees and shrubs, with about a 6-foot fence, because that's pretty much what it's going to be to keep them out and exclusionary for them.
And, there is a category, too, for injured deer, because, we see this and our hearts go out to animals that are injured. But in this category in particular, for deer that are injured, they're pretty resilient.
They are. They're very resilient. And for them, I mean, there's some that are absolutely fatal, but there's also a lot of minor injuries that they'll get that they push through. I've seen deer with broken legs that I've seen for years after wandering around, and you can tell that it's been wounded, but it's actually even still using that leg to some extent, more of kind of like a crutch or a cane type thing, but they're out there using them. So they are very resilient. If you do have, an injury that's severe, give us a call and we'll come out and we'll check it out and see what we can do to help with the situation. And slow down on the roads. last night alone on Palace Parkway, because I'm out towards Pleasant Valley off of Palace Parkway, and in 3 different areas on that same road, I had deer run out in front of me. I felt like I was, something was coming at me. And
it's like, do you not know where I work?
What is the universe telling me today?
Yes, I'm on your side.
Yeah, so slow down, because they're out and they're looking for feed. And they're just going to keep looking around. So be aware of what they're doing out there and slow down, especially at dusk and dawn when it's harder to see what's going on.
Yeah, Julie, thanks for that reminder too. And then we've talked in the past about, containing your pets, because it is illegal to allow dogs to harass deer.
It is, and that can be a problem. Even if they haven't done it traditionally in the past, once they get a taste of it, sometimes they see it as really fun, and then it's detrimental to the wildlife in several ways. So make sure that you're locking up your pets and containing them so that they're not out there harassing the wildlife, because that is also a violation, and there is a regulation about that as well.
Okay. We're talking with Julie Gabrielson. She is Nevada Department of Wildlife Conservation Educator and our guest here on Elko Live today. We can back into maybe some operations if you like to.
Sure, absolutely. So 2024 vessel registrations continue on. They're pretty much whenever you want to come in and get them done. Obviously, your boat or any kind of vessel does need to be registered before it can be out on the water, along with your AIS stamp. So you can get that done in any NDOW office. They also have the non-motorized AIS decals for kayaks in the office as well. 2024, your mountain lion tag holder season ends February 29th. If you wanted to get out in the field, remember you have to have that lion tag with you on hand. It can't be a digital tag. It's got to be an in-person tag that you have for those lion hunts. If for some reason you've lost yours, come into the office. They can get you a duplicate for $10. There's also still time to complete your harvest questionnaire. If you drew a big game tag, whether you filled your tag or not and was successful on the harvest, we need you to fill out that questionnaire. You can submit it by going to ndowlicensing.com, logging into your account, and then clicking on return cards/surveys by 5 p.m. on January 31st. For hunts that close later than the 31st of January, the deadline actually for those surveys is open until the 28th of February.
Okay. Those are very important to do, by the way. Don't neglect them.
They are.
Yes,
they're
yes.
very important. They tell us a lot.
Okay. And then ramping up into bobcat season.
Yeah, bobcat season has been running, and it closes on the 18th of February. Our next seal date in Elko, which will be at the NDOW office, is February 20th from 9 until 3. We've also got our youth fishing and hunting license. We talked about that a little bit last month. 12 to 17-year-olds get a free license while the supplies last. This is all done by donors, people that have contributed to this fund to allow students and those kids from that age group to be able to go out and hunt and fish for free. It initiates as a fishing license, and then once the youth gets their hunter education certification, then it rolls over into a hunting license as well. If you have any interest in donating to this, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. NDOW now has a function on your vendor webpage, on our webpage, that accepts donations for Resource Enhancement Fund as well as the Youth License Fund. So you just go to ndowlicensing.com. If you look at the top banner, there's going to be a button that says donate. And it'll take you to the page and allow you to donate to that. So if you'd rather call us and talk to us directly about donating for that youth license fund, you're welcome to do that. We are happy to talk to you about it. Or you can just go to that donate button and donate directly to it that way.
Super easy. And it's a way to perpetuate the love of the sport and getting outdoors.
It is.
Yes.
And let's get these kids outdoors, get them away from the screens and spending more time outside.
And on to the topic of law enforcement. A lot of ways that people can participate, and of course, safety and helping to preserve our species and our landscapes.
Yeah, and we've already talked a little bit about the ice fishing, quite a bit about the ice fishing. If you are out there ice fishing, remember that the maximum size hole that you can drill in our waters here in Nevada is 10 inches. That is for safety reasons. There's some states in other areas that allow bigger, but we are a 10-inch hole maximum on that. Also, shed hunting is closed on all public lands in Elko, Eureka, Lander, Lincoln, Nye, and White Pine counties until April 30th. May 1st, it opens back up, but you've got to have your shed ethics online training certification done before you go out there in the field on May 1st. That test should be available sometime in April is when that comes out. It is a free test and certification to take, but it is required to be out there shed hunting come May 1st. And you do have to redo it every year. And you can do that at NDOWlicensing.com.
All right. Super easy on that one. And then if you're out in the field and you see something a little sus, as the kids say.
Yeah. Kind of like bra.
Exactly. We're so cool, Julie.
I know it. My grandson called me bra this weekend. I was like, what?
Exactly. I'm glad you told me what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're out in the field and you see something that's just a little, suspicious, or you can even use this to report injured animals too, if need be. But it's the Operation Game Thief phone line is 800-992-3030. We also offer the same version in an app, which is the NDOW Tip app, and you can download that onto your phone and have it readily available. If you see something involving humans that's a little suspect, don't approach them in the field. Just take all the information and give it to us, and we'll let the game wardens take it from there. They're amazing investigators. They really know their stuff, and it's amazing some of the stuff that they can come up with from just a tiny little bit of information. Yep. So let's let them handle it. Just give us the information, and we'll go with it from there.
Great idea. So that's Operation Game Thief, or the NDOW Tip app, which can be downloaded to your mobile device. Oh, and then here's, of course, a favorite topic, and that's diversity and raptor surveys. And you've had a lot of birders out this season.
We have. They're wrapping up. The end of January is when it's typically the month of January that we do the raptor surveys. Multiple routes, back roads, lots of miles. We are still one of the few states that conduct this survey every year. We have 68 routes that range from 9 to 200 miles each. And so the volunteers that go out and do this, they are really committed. Each of those routes, we're not supposed to do over 35 miles an hour for the duration of the route.
Wow.
So when you've got one of those longer routes, you're there all day long.
You're the spectator.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And the whole point of it is just watching to see what activity we can find of raptors in the areas of those routes. So they're a lot of fun. But they do definitely take some time. So if you come across a vehicle with flashing lights on, doing 30, 35 miles an hour on a road that's typically 60 or 70, that might be why.
That's right. Be kind, be patient, and celebrate the fact that they're helping us do that.
Absolutely.
Super cool.
Yep.
Another opportunity would be the Audubon Great Backyard Bird Count.
Yep. That's happening the 16th through the 19th. This is just what it sounds like. We want to know what you're seeing in your backyard. And so you can go to the Audubon website and look at the birdcount.org website as well for more details on how you can participate. Bristlecone Audubon, if you get a hold of Lois Ports, she will also have all kinds of information for you on it. NDOW is particularly interested in the rosy finch observations. There's actually two different types of rosy finches, the black rosy finch and the gray crowned rosy finch. We're also looking for some Pinion Jay observations. So if you see any of those, give us a call at NDOW and let us know what you're seeing and the quantity and where you're seeing them at. You can also log those observations in eBird, which is an app that you can download on your phone.
All right. And you can get connected with some super cool people from our community who really have a passion for birding, which is always nice. So.
It is. Yep.
Well, if we can wrap up our discussion with some, conversation about habitat and seeding areas.
Yeah. So our habitat division is collecting and securing and delivering a bunch of seed for aerial operations around the region that's coming up for private landowners and federal partners. The Ely area is looking at over 15,000 acres to be seeded. Austin area is going to be 2,000 acres in the New Pass area. And Elko area, 3,400 acres around Argenta Rim, and then 1,000 acres near Grindstone, and then 1,000 acres near Nelson Creek. So they've got some work coming up that's going to keep them pretty busy with those aerial seedings as well.
And it really does make a difference.
It does.
Yes, it's huge. These are targeted areas that include private landowners, and it's important to, of course, wildlife species.
It is. Yes. And if you look at some of the before and after pictures of some of these areas that they've done some rehab to, it's really incredible with where they've come with the different treatments that they do to it, anywhere from the post-fire treatment that happens as soon as they possibly can get on the ground and do it, to herbicides, to the actual seeding. And there's some pictures where they've got a fence that divides what they've done and what they haven't done, and it's really incredible and so impressive to see the work that they get done out there.
So you too could be a seedling volunteer. Just get in touch
Yes,
with NDOW.
yeah, I'm sure we'll have a seedling planting this spring sometime too. Yeah.
All right, looking forward to that. Julie, we'll go full circle and end where we started. Just a plug for your Sportsman's Expo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Elko Sportsman's Expo, March 2nd and 3rd. On Saturday the 2nd, it runs from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. March 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's Sunday. Again, it's free to the public. We've got the free youth activity room where they can shoot bows, pellet gun range, free T-shirts, fly tying, wildlife education of all kinds. And then you also get a free entry into our door prize drawing, which is all items that are donated by the vendors that come to us. Big thank you to Ruby Mountain Rio's National Wild Turkey Federation, who is our co-host, and our co-sponsors, Fifth Gear, Riverton, and Exit Outdoors.
Awesome, Julie. We'll send them your way.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you, listeners, for joining us for another edition of Getting Outdoors and enjoying our beautiful backcountry with Nevada Department of Wildlife Conservation educator, Julie Gabrielson.